Namaste guys, Ashish here and this is Unique Review. Televentures, a sub-brand of Micromax, launched Unique, its most affordable 4G enabled Android phone last week. The handset has a very attractive price of Rs 4,999 and comes with some impressive specs. So how good is the handset? Let's find out in our review. Unique is not one of the most beautiful looking phone, but it's definitely very compact and delivers decent build quality for its price. The front is dominated by a 4.7-inch IPS LCD screen with front camera on the top. There are no capacitive buttons in the front. On the edge, you have volume knockers with power button sandwiched between them. The edge and the rear is matte finish with rubbery texture which will keep off the dust but will attract fingerprints, especially if you have oily fingers. The rear houses an 8 megapixel camera along with LED flash. At the rear bottom, you have the speakers located with U logo on the top. Removing the rear panel will give you access to the non-replaceable battery, the dual SIM support and a micro SD card slot. When it comes to display, you have a 4.7-inch IPS LCD screen like I told you before, but it's got a 312 ppi along with Corning Gorilla Glass 3. This is remarkable. Keeping in mind the cost is Rs 4,999, it's pretty impressive that you are able to pack in so many features. I'd like to add that the phone is also 4G enabled, making it one of the most affordable 4G enabled smartphones in India. There are three things I did not like about the screen though. First, it's a huge fingerprint and dust magnet. Second, the brightness and color saturation is on the lower side. This makes sunlight readability a little difficult if you have set the display to be on automatic mode. Lastly, viewing angles are not that great. Anytime you see phone from a different angle, basically from the sides, the display looks dark and one cannot make out what's on the phone. The phone houses an 8 megapixel rear camera with autofocus capability and LED flash. You have a 2 megapixel front camera with SDR mode. The camera app is very close to how the stock camera is on Lollipop. It comes with features like countdown timer, continuous shot, option to select ISO or easy to use modes like landscape and so on. It also supports SDR mode and filters. The app is fast and there is no shot-to-shot lag when taking picture. When shooting video, you can record 1080p video with rear camera and 720 with the front. Picture quality in various conditions. For daylight, the contrast and the colors are boosted like in SDR mode. In medium to low light, the camera chooses a shutter speed that is a bit slow, which ends up introducing blur in the photos. Low light photos without flash have a lot of noise in them, which makes them unusable. That said, on camera standard, it's an average performer, but it's good enough for daylight shoots. Check out the camera samples in the link below. The Unique comes with a Snapdragon 410 quad-core processor which is clocked at 1.2 GHz with Adreno 306. It comes with 8GB of internal storage and a GB of RAM. Unique is the first device from you that does not run on Cyanogen OS. Instead, it runs on a near stock build of Android 5.1 Lollipop version. Looking at these specs, it looks like the handset has enough power to run an apps games without any issues. However, experience was little different. While most of the apps like WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, Twitter and games like Asphalt 8 Airborne and Marvel's Champion did well individually, the phone struggled while multitasking between them. There are occasional lags which one cannot ignore. Also, heavy games like Asphalt 8 itself takes a lot of time to load up. But gaming was smooth and there is no major heating issue. That said, I would say that Unique performed decently as a daily driver, but if you are a heavy user, be ready to face some performance hiccups. This is something you should try to fix through software updates. After the initial setup, you have like 3.5 to 4 GB of storage space of 8 GB. This is enough if you don't use much apps, but once you start downloading games and shooting pictures, you will run out of space pretty soon. The inclusion of microSD card slot does mean that you can move big apps and games to the memory card easily. Also, the phone supports OTG, which means you can connect a USB drive as well if you have the OTG cable. The phone houses a 2000 mAh battery. This is enough to power the phone throughout a day of moderate usage. During the usage of 1 week, Unique easily lasted for 16 to 18 hours with only 2 to 2.5 hours of screen on time. That on a single charge and 4G. I did not encounter any problem with GPS, network and other related things. The cellular reception was just fine and the phone did not exhibit any strange behavior in areas with poor network signal. When it comes to audio and music playback, the speaker which is placed at the rear bottom edge is not just up to the mark. Even at maximum volume, the audio was not really loud. The experience with the earphone that comes with the box was decent enough. U-Unique is a great phone, but only for a particular segment, and it's killer for its price. At Rs 4,999, you get a 720p display, 4G support, dual SIM and decent specs that you get phones which cost around 8 to 10k, but only for a particular segment. Now why I'm saying is, of course, there are a couple of drawbacks which I've already mentioned. The multitasking camera is average and all. So we are looking at a particular segment which cannot afford more than 5 to 6k at the max. And this is where Unique fits in. You get 4G which is now growing really fast, and if anybody who wants to keep their handset, I want to have 4G in future, this is a good phone. Again, you get a 720p display, you have Corning Gorilla Glass 3, that's pretty amazing at 4,999. So the price is the killer part with a very decent performance as a daily driver. If you cannot afford to spend more than 5,000 to 6,000, this is a brilliant deal.